As we approach the end of 2023, homicides in Rochester stand at 57. It's lower than this time last year, but as the city remains under a gun violence state of emergency, police say they're working to make sure fewer people become victims of homicide. Gio Battaglia joins us in the studio with a closer look at the numbers and how RPD is approaching this fight against crime in Rochester. Gio.
Teresa, good evening. I sat down with Captain Greg Bello today, who told me while there is a decrease in the number of homicides, he is hopeful new partnerships in the new year will help decrease crime in the city.
We're not happy with the decrease in shooting victims and homicide victims that we've had so far over the last 2 years. We need to keep that trend going. Because even one is too many.
Captain Greg Bello with the Rochester Police Department says homicides for the city are down for this year, at least compared to last year, with 53 this year and 73 last year. But he says there is more work to be done, and he is hoping that recent partnerships will help to see even more of a decrease in 2024.
And one of the great things we've actually just started over the last month or so is the NIBIN program, our partnership with the ATF, the National Integrated Ballistics Identification Network. So you can track casings down from different shooting scenes and attach them and identify them from coming from one firearm. And so what we've been able to do through that NIBIN network is typically the response time we would get back in those cases was about 6 months.
Captain Bello says with this technology being implemented in their building, they can now have answers within hours to figure out where a firearm in question has been used.
So it'll help link together some of our investigations, not just with holding offenders accountable when we catch people with those guns, but then also building up that intelligence in terms of and that knowledge of where this gun is being used.
With this information, the Rochester Police Department is able to distribute proactive resources towards those offenders. This year, officers also recovered over 800 firearms from the streets of Rochester.
Every one of those has some sort of story or risk that goes with it, but also each one of those firearms, when we grab that, has the possibility of preventing another shooting, another shots fired, another murder.
And coming up at 6, we'll hear more from Captain Bello and the goals he has to keep decreasing the crime stats for 2024. In studio, Gio Battaglia. Teresa, back to you.